What's up guys, in this video we're going to talk all about how to transition from going from practice trading to actually trading with real money. And this is one of the most important steps you can have on your trading journey because it's when you have some actual skin on the game. And a lot of times you can be nervous about taking this step. So we're gonna break it down for you today and tell you how to do things the right way. Step number one is before you even get into trading with real money, you wanna make sure that you've narrowed down your strategy to a single approach. That means we're only doing one thing, so you feel like you have some consistency and some really good understanding of that one thing. And you might be thinking, Kyle, do I really have to just narrow it down to one thing? Can't I combine a bunch of different stuff that I've learned and just use what's working on that particular day or that particular week? The problem you're gonna run into, and I say this from experience, is you're never gonna have confidence in one single thing if you take that approach. If you're trying to do all kinds of different things, what's gonna end up happening is one week you're gonna win doing one thing, the next week you're gonna lose doing it, and you're gonna constantly be changing it up and not really have any kind of confidence towards your overall trading approach. Just narrow it down to a single thing that you have confidence and you have understanding in. That means you've gone through some kind of education process and you feel comfortable with the strategy that you're trading. How do you feel comfortable about it? Well, does it fit your time schedule? Can you make enough money with it? Does it align with your goals? All of these things will help give you more confidence in transitioning to real money. Now, once you've narrowed down your strategy, step number two is to have perfect practice. What do you mean by perfect practice? Perfect practice, if we really want to break it down, it's important to know what it's not and what it is. So what perfect practice is not is winning every single trade. You're never going to win every single trade, and you don't have to win every single trade in practice either. I've seen people take months and months and months. Well, they'll never move on from their practice phase and get into real money just because they haven't won a certain percentage of their trade. They have this hypothetical number like, hey, we're supposed to win 80% of our trades or 90% of our trades before you feel confident in moving on to real money. And that's just not a realistic goal. It's not a relevant goal. You don't need to win a certain, hypothetical percentage in order to make money. And that's ultimately what the goal is, right? It's to actually make money. So don't set some kind of standard like that for yourself in practice. Don't need to win every single one. What is perfect practice? Well, it's taking the same approach that you've learned and actually executing it the way that you would with real money. That means if you plan on taking trades with $1,000, then don't go and practice with $100,000. Use the same kind of approach that you would use with real money with your practice trading, because what happens when you transition from practice to real money is more emotion gets involved. You get a little bit nervous, there's real money in the game, and if you've been practicing with a much larger amount, it's gonna be a little bit different when you get in there with real money, okay? You're gonna get a little bit anxious, you're not gonna feel like you're making as much, but that's the amount that you probably should be trading on, right? So keep your position sizing the same as you would with real money while you're going through practice. Now, as you're going through practice, what else makes it perfect? Well, you should create the same kind of habits that you would with real money as well. That means you're taking consistent setups that you're gonna look for. You're not taking too many trades and just randomly doing stuff just to click the buttons. That means you're actually logging your work. You have a day trading log or some kind of trading log where you log all that information in and you're tracking each bit of it. Now, how long does that practice phase have to be? It doesn't have to be months and months, guys, but what you want to do is show yourself that you've given yourself a good 30 days, 60 days, somewhere in that 1 to 2 month time frame where you've traded the same strategy, you traded it exactly the way that you would with real money, you've logged all of the results so that you know you can go back and make adjustments. And at the end of that, if you're profitable, if you're positive, you made money, guess what? Now you're ready for the next step, which is to actually get into the game and trade with some real money. Now, before we get into step three, be sure to stick around to the end of this video because I'm gonna give you a little bonus that can skip over these next couple steps and get you there a little bit faster. Now, as we get into step three, the most important thing as you transition into real money from practice is to keep your size small. Now, I'm talking like as small as possible at the very beginning. You're not gonna become a gazillionaire in your first week, okay? You're probably not even gonna make very much money in your first month. That's okay. The goal with your first month of real money trading is to test your discipline and your emotions with real skin in the game. That means if you're trading something like options or trading something like futures, just do a single contract. Even if it doesn't make you very much money at the beginning, what it's going to do is see if you can handle trading with real money. And that's the most important thing you can test at the beginning. Can you do things the same way you did in practice when you have have real money in the game. And keeping things at a single contract is all you need in order to do that. Now, once you get through that single contract phase, which could be a week, could be a couple weeks, could be an entire month, it depends on how you're holding up from an emotional and discipline standpoint. But once you're past that point, you've done things the same way, you've made a little bit of money, now we can get into the scaling phase. And this is really step 4. We've went from, okay, we've narrowed down our strategy, we've practiced that strategy, we started with a single contract. Now we can get into scaling. The way that you scale should really be based on the amount of risk you're taking. Now I see so many traders do this wrong. They have some hypothetical contract number that they want to get to, or some hypothetical account size that they're trying to trade off of. Just do it based on risk. You shouldn't set goals based on a number of contracts that you want to be doing. So it's not, hey, I'm going to do 10 contracts now, or I'm going to do 25 contracts now, or I'm going to do 100 contracts now. How much risk do you have on any given trade? So it's really based on where your stop loss is. Do you want to risk $100 per trade? Do you want to risk $250 per trade? You only want to risk $25 per trade. All of those things are fine, but that's how you start scaling, is you keep your risk size in line and you always know what that risk size is. And then as your account grows, you just start increasing your risk size with your account. So I like to do it by percentages. So at the size I'm at now, I only risk about 0.5% of my account value per single trade. That means if I'm trading off $500,000, I'm taking a $2,500 risk size per trade. And obviously the math on that is going to work out wherever your account size is. Doesn't necessarily matter, but keep the percentages in line with your risk tolerance. If your account's a little bit smaller, maybe you can risk 1% per trade or 2% per trade. But know what that risk number is and don't deviate from it. Just let your account grow while keeping that risk element the same. Okay, now I promised you guys a bonus at the end of this video. So how can we skip ahead a couple of these steps? How can we skip kind of the one contract phase and portions of the scaling phase? Well, the easiest way to do this, and one of the things that's unique to trading, is you can actually go and get yourself funded. And what getting funded means is you get access to other people's money to trade. And that could be anywhere from $50K to $500,000 of trading capital that they will go give you to trade. Now there's some rules around that. You need to pass an evaluation, you need to qualify. Topic for another video, but what that essentially allows you to do is, one, trade with less risk, because now you're not risking any of your own money. You don't have that same kind of nervousness and that same kind of emotion that you would have with your own skin in the game. You're using someone else's money. But two, you can probably make more. So you can skip some of those scaling steps by giving yourself access to more capital right out of the gate. And that's just a little bonus tip for you if you're going about trying to transition from, hey, I'm practicing now, or I'm trying to get into it, to actually going to real money. You can skip a couple steps by getting yourself funded. Okay, if you guys like more content like this, be sure to like, subscribe to this video, and let me know in the comments what you want to learn about next. We'll see you on the next one.